In the beautiful Singapore at Consensus, and we're here with Ethereum Classic Labs. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Anthony. I work on ETC Cooperative. Essentially, I've been involved in the ETC community since the start, since the hard fork at block 1.92 million. We at ETC Cooperative, we do a lot of marketing awareness. We work on other little projects like Peace Bridge that some people may have heard of. That we're actually co-funding with Ethereum Foundation. So us and Kyber Labs and Akomba are working on that. And I mean Kyber Network, sorry. And yeah, that's basically what we do. We do a lot of the community outreach, a lot of the we're trying to be a lot of the glue that binds a lot of the ETC teams, because there's a lot of teams involved in ETC. Rather than having one centralized team, we have a good deal of them. So try to just glue everything together. Yeah.
I mean, ETC got in the news, of course, because of the Coinbase listing. How do you look back on that news? I mean, it's great news, I think.
Yeah, it was great news. It was actually funny. I got home and I had no idea Coinbase was listing ETC that day, so I thought I was just going to relax and watch TV, and I had suddenly a ton of work to do. But I was very excited to see it because it exposes ETC to a lot more people who may not have been familiar with it, who maybe don't understand the history and why we exist. Yeah.
Some people actually say that ETC is also undervalued. If you look at the current market price, what do you think?
Yeah, so in cryptocurrencies in general, and I hate talking about price, but generally everybody looks at market cap. Market cap is a very easy to manipulate metric. For example, if I had my own token and we called it Anthony token, I printed 1 trillion of them, and I sold you one of them for $1 and held the rest for myself, do I have $1 trillion token? No, I don't. And essentially, when it comes to ETC, we have a lot more liquidity. Right at the start, there were a lot of people dumping ETC, so that maybe suppressed the price, but it created something much more liquid, where we're actually third to fourth largest by volume on exchange trading, and we're third largest by transactions on actual networks. So right after us is Bitcoin, and right after Bitcoin is Ethereum as far as proof of work cryptocurrencies go. And a lot of people don't realize that, because you look at market cap, you see, oh, ETC is number 15 on coinmarketcap.com. But if you just go and you click through to volume, you'll see that we're actually a lot higher. Yeah.
And what are the recent developments in the ETC if you look at technology? I mean, people are talking about scalability, etc.
So there's a lot going on. Essentially, the two main things are obviously scalability, which ETC Dev is now spearheading with their Orbita project. And then the other thing beyond that is developer tools. A lot of people, when working on blockchain projects, find that they're programming for in nearly 2020 now, but all the tools feel like they're from 1990. So there's another project called Emerald Project that ETC Dev, a different group, is also working on to make it more accessible to developers. So hoping to see a lot more scaling come through in the future. There's also some very neat, very highly mathematical things that IOHK are working on, and that may also help with our scalability going forward.
And what's the long-term goal for ETC? I mean, some choose like Bitcoin Cash. They choose to be they want to be payments, focus on payments. What is your long-term goal?
Yeah, so ETC doesn't have one specific long-term goal. Like I said, there's a lot of different groups working on ETC. We want to be a very generally available blockchain platform, but on ETC Dev side, for example, they're really focusing on IoT. That's part of why they're coming out with the Orbita sidechain project. But as far as ETC in general, what we want and what we always were and what we thought Ethereum was at the time was essentially Bitcoin, but you have smart contracts so you can do more things. And that's what we want ETC to be. You know, our core principles are still to be a decentralized, permissionless, immutable blockchain. And from that, you get a very powerful tool where you can really just build anything with ETC and get very strong guarantees about its operations going into the future. And that's really what we want. We want to basically be as highly reliable as Bitcoin, but just capable of doing some more things.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And how do you see the development of Ethereum at the moment? I mean, or do you cooperate together?
Yeah, we communicate. We're opening lines of communication. I would consider, for example, Virgil Griffith and Bob Somerville my friends. And we're currently actually working together on the Peace Bridge project. Ethereum Foundation and ETC Cooperative are each funding it 50%. And we're hoping to work together on more things going forward in the future. Yeah.
And what do you see for the blockchain market? I mean, we'll talk about a lot about regulation, etc. But what are the trends for the next years? I mean, we're still very early phase, isn't it?
Yeah. I have no idea what's going to happen in blockchain in the next year. Every month in blockchain feels like a year. So I think over the next year, we're going to see a lot more solid, really, the strong projects are going to be the ones that survive. And there's a lot of very weak projects in this space right now. And obviously, I don't know which ones are which in all cases. But what we're probably going to see is more settling out of projects where the ones that simply just ran their ICO and then just disappeared are gone, and we'll see people that are more involved and interested in the tech and in actually developing and giving this very, very important thing to people. I'm hoping to see those projects elevate. Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
and all the best with development.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
All right, cool. Thanks.